Yeah, this is my 351 Windsor 95 Ford Bronco, and I had a bolt stuck in here. It was frozen, absolutely would not move. I got it out though, so I'm going to tell you what I did, and hopefully you could do the same thing and it'll help you. So here's my water pump, okay, and this is what the bolt looked like when it was frozen. All right, here's the head of the bolt right there. So originally, I couldn't turn it, and I stripped it out with a socket, and I tried using a bolt extractor, and it just kept rounding it off more and more and more, until finally it just wouldn't work. And so my next choice, or my next solution, was to try and cut the water pump housing, and that's what I did. I took a Dremel tool and I cut it right there. So if you're looking at the water pump, I had to come in with the Dremel at an angle like this, and then cut it all the way across here, being careful not to hit the actual housing of the block or this timing cover. And at an angle, I had to cut that out. And so the cool thing is once I cut it, I was able to just move the pump out of the way, and the pump came out. But the problem was the bolt was still there. So yeah. So then my next obstacle was to try to get this out. And so with my socket, I ended up just rounding off this bolt, and I tried with vice grips, and it eventually just snapped off. So I had to heat this up with a torch, because I read that if you heat it up, it'll expand and contract, breaking the rust in there. So I don't know if that worked. I did that a couple times. I wouldn't recommend it, especially on an engine like this, because there's a lot of oil and grease in here. So I risked the fire. So what probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. But that's one thing I did. I sprayed it I used like 3/4 of a can of penetrating oil just to get it lubricated. And so anyway, eventually I got my vice grips on it, and I got 45-degree turns on here, until eventually I was able to pull this sucker out. So that's what I did. So just to kind of recap, I think the best thing to do is just to go straight to this housing here and just cut it. Just cut this housing. Just cut it, remove the pump, and then worry about that bolt. I've seen other videos where they actually cut into this housing, but I didn't have to do that. And I'm glad I didn't see that video, because I might have considered that. So I watched it after the fact. So anyway, I hope maybe this could help somebody else who is struggling, going through the same thing. I'm happy that I got this out, and now I can continue on with my next step. So yeah, 351 Windsor.